Hey folks, welcome back to Jerome Bee Farm and Homestead. This is the fifth episode of Tiny Swarm 2019. So last time we checked, we found a virgin queen in there. Their population was low. They needed some resources, and we gave them 2 frames of brood and bees, nurse bees, and those brood frames had honey and pollen on them too. So they should have everything they need in there. So what we were concerned about when we put those 2 brood frames in is we did not drench them. We just used a heavy smoke to cover up the old queen pheromone and new queen pheromone to confuse the bees to see if they would acclimate. That's what we did. So let's get in there and see if the 2 frames that we put in superseded that queen, killed that queen. If that queen's gone, she may have went off to mate, came back, didn't make it back. So that's what we're going to be doing, is looking to see the status of the queen in Tiny Swarm 2019. So let's get in there and check her out. Okay, this sugar feeder is empty. I didn't refill it last time because the frames we put in there had plenty of honey on there and nectar for them to feed off of. And the sugar water that was in here, they had pulled it inside, so onto an empty frame. So they shouldn't have any issues with having enough to eat. And we got quite a few hive beetles up here. Not too bad, but I'll try and kill all of them I can. Looks like I got them all. So I see a lot more healthy population of bees this time. They're all the way from this frame to that frame. So you can see down in there, we got 3 solid frames of bees, looks like. And we'll get that beetle trap off of there and see if we can find our queen. So our beetle trap's still capturing beetles. There's even more in there than before. So I'll put a link to where you can get these beetle blasters. You can order them in groups of 20. If you get them that way, they're a little less than $1 a piece. That's how I like to get them. And I noticed they're on Amazon now. So if you have a Prime account, you can get them without shipping. So this is just a blank frame. So this here is a donor brood frame that we put in, the first one. So these 2 are donor brood frames. This is the brood frame we put in that they made the queen off of. There were actually 4 queen cells, and this frame is one that was partially drawn out that they've been putting nectar in. So this frame here is from the original Tiny Swarm that we captured off the ground, and they've already propolized those together. So this is a heavy frame. There's a lot of honey on there on the outside and a lot of brood in the middle. So the brood is just starting to emerge on the edges, and it's still capped in the middle. And all this around here, this is honey. So they do not need fed sugar. So now we'll look on here real quick for the queen. Queen is not likely to be on capped brood, but since this is such a small box, she might be over here. Not seeing her. So if I'm going to see the queen, I would expect to see her on this center frame here probably, because this is the frame she was on before. That's the frame she came from. And there she is. So they are putting a lot of nectar in this now. And I see eggs, so she is laying. So here's our queen right here, and those frames she's walking on, or those cells she's walking on right now, they all have eggs in them. So she's gone out and mated and is laying. So normally I would stop here and not go on, but since I'm making a video, I want to show you what this other brood frame here looks like. That was the donor frame. So this is mostly emerged, and on the other side, so there's a little bit of brood on the edges of that honey, and then on the very outsides of the frame, out in here, this is all honey. And this side is mostly emerged going out to the honey. So the queen may go over to this frame next and start laying, backfilling those empty cells. So that's another reason we don't want to put sugar water on here. You don't want the worker bees filling those cells full of sugar water when the queen could be laying in them. So since there's so many beetles in here, I'm going to get me another beetle blaster. And I'm going to put 2 in here. And I'll put them on the outside edges. So I'll go get another one. I think I got some in the barn there, and I'll be right back and get that taken care of. Okay, here's what these look like when they're new. And this looked like it was my last one, so I need to order me some more. But it's clear plastic on the bottom, black on the top. Has all these little holes. So the beetle will go in here and they can't climb back out. So you fill it with, I think you can use just pure vegetable oil, but I buy this beetle trap oil. I get this from Man Lake. I don't know if there's anything on Amazon or not, but you just pour a little bit in there. And these are basically disposable. I've tried to clean them out, but I've used them for a couple, 3 years in a row, but they get so full of beetles. So there you can see what it looks like with the oil in it. So this Man Lake oil has an attractant in it too. I think I read somewhere it's like apple cider vinegar. I'm not sure. You can probably look on beesource.com and find a recipe for that if you don't want to buy the oil. But that big bottle is like $8, and they have a smaller bottle too. But I found I'd go through the small bottles so fast, I just got a big bottle. So a hive that's really strong, this isn't as big a problem, but a hive that's like a nuke trying to get on its feet, and there's beetles in there, they don't need that, and the beetles will actually cause them to abscond and leave if they get too many in there. So I'm going to try and shake these off because when you have a nuke that the top is very close to the frames, if a bee gets in the beetle trap, it can't get back out. So I don't want these bees getting caught in there. So there's none up there right now, so I'll hurry and get it on. So man, that's great news. This little tiny swarm couldn't have worked out any better than it's doing. It's got a mated queen in there, and she's laying eggs, so that's awesome. So we probably won't mess with them for a couple weeks and see what they do. If they start doing really well and their population's doing good and they're filling this box up, we'll expand it to a full deep. And so this little hive here is a candidate to take over for hive number 1 or number 5 if they don't, those really weak nukes over there, if they don't get going. So here's a queen that's showing some promise, and it came from our own stock, so that's a good thing. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video, and don't forget to subscribe before you leave. Y'all take care. We'll catch you on the next one.